I used to be a server at IHOP. I would get to the restaurant, get my table set, I would get my apron on, start taking the orders. And then I would go get the customers' drinks, I would run their food, clean up the tables. I was constantly serving them. It was my top priority to serve my customers. Now, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you listening to this, have had a top priority similar to mine. Maybe you've never been a server. Maybe you work in the medical field. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a mechanic. Or maybe you work in law enforcement. Whatever your daily task or job may be, the question remains the same. What is your top priority? Now, Paul and Timothy are writing a letter to the Christian church in Philippi. And Paul is writing this letter from a Roman prison. The very first verse, Paul says, Paul and Timothy's, servants of Christ Jesus. I find it extremely interesting that the very first thing that Paul says is that they're servants of Christ Jesus. In other words, their top priority is to serve the Lord. Even in prison, Paul is placing Christ first. Although this is a short verse, we are taught a valuable lesson. As Christians, our priority should be to serve Christ first. On the days that I was working at IHOP, my top priority was to serve others. And I ended up putting Christ on the back burner most days. I wasn't taking the time to serve Christ first. Now, what about you? Do you make serving Christ your top priority? Or do you neglect your title as a Christian and place him on the back burner? I challenge you to take a moment to reflect on what you might need to change in order to make Christ your top priority. Write down one change and then commit to making it. Remember that making Christ your top priority is a continual process. So I encourage you to get the process started now.